Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. This is for General Hospital, Mayfield 2025. Okay, so first of all, based on the preview for, hold on, I gotta move a little closer. Based on the preview for tomorrow's episode, Dante is blaming Gio. I was like, first of all, now I understand you lash out, you don't understand what's going on, so the first person in your sight, that's who you gonna blame. But at the same time, it's like, come on now. But yeah, based on the preview, he's blaming Gio on tomorrow's episode. I'm about to say next week. On tomorrow's episode, he's blaming Gio. And I was like, oh my goodness. I wonder, I think they said something about he's supposed to have what's it called? Alcohol poisoning or something like that. So I was like, do y'all think it's what people been saying that he's gonna need blood or what? Let me know down below. Hold on. I gotta make sure I turn on the air in a minute so the phone won't overheat. But yeah, on today's episode, we're gonna start with Lulu, Dante, Carly. So they still talking about the same thing. He was saying, he loved her or whatever, but he's still in love with Sam. He's still in love with Sam or whatever, so he can't really act on it. And she felt some type of way. She didn't understand why he was telling her that if he wasn't going to do anything about it or whatever. What else? Then they started talking about how did they get to Brooklyn? How did they start talking about Brooklyn? I can't remember how they started talking about Brooklyn. I don't know. But yeah, she was about to tell something. That's what she was about to do. Because he's still trying to get her to take it easy on Brooklyn and stuff like that. And she was like, you don't know what she's done. I said, if you're going to tell it, tell it. I said, if you're going to tell it at this point. But yeah, she was saying, you don't know what she's done. But then Carly came in. I said, right on time, Carly. Because she was about to snitch. Probably. I don't know, y'all. At first, I was thinking that she was going to be the one to tell the truth about what's going on. But now I'm thinking that she's not. I don't know. Let me know down below what y'all think. Hold on. Well, yeah, they was talking about that. Carly ends up coming in, and then Dante ends up leaving. And her and Carly end up having a conversation. She was saying how Robin ended up exposing the fact that Jason was not Michael's father and stuff like that. I seen something. Who said that? Somebody had said also Carly did the same thing with the whole Willow Nina situation. Not Willow. Was it Willow? Did they say Willow and Nell? Did she do the same thing for both of them? I don't know. I think so. Did she know that Nell was her daughter? Yeah, because that's how all this started, didn't it? But yeah, I seen somebody mention that. I said, right, that's true. But she was trying to advise her not to tell the truth. She was like, it's gonna be her fault. Everybody gonna be mad, and just saying she gonna make things worse. And I know a lot of fans agree with that as well. But I think the storyline needs to come out. The storyline been needed to come out, and hopefully it does. And I'm so glad that Tracy knows, that Lois knows who her great grandson is. I said exactly. Tracy's smart. She definitely is. But yeah, that leads me to Tracy and Lois. So she ends up confronting her, asking her if she ended up telling Brooklyn to get rid of her child for her sake or because of Lois or whatever. And they were just going back and forth about the quartermain this and the quartermain that or whatever. And I think Tracy said something about the day is going to come when she going to be out of that house or whatever. Look, I told y'all Tracy be peeping game now. At first, I thought that Drew was going to end up thinking that Tracy did it and he was going to blame her. But now Brad done took his tail. Like, I understand in a sense because Portia don't sit up here and told him, oh, we skipping ahead. But she over here, I see she a bad criminal. How you going to tell a criminal that you finna get ready to frame them? That you going to frame them or whatever. But he did come in there trying to blame her again. So I was like, none of them learned their lesson. But yeah, hold on. But yeah, I already said Tracy and Lois. She was telling her that her day at reckoning is going to get ready to come. Because at first she was questioning her. She was questioning her about where her great grandson is, and she's still trying to act like she don't know. And she did what was best for her daughter, and she encouraged her to do what was right. And I was like, all y'all had the opportunity. With Willow, Nina, and Carly, look, Willow came in there talking crazy to Carly. I'm surprised Carly didn't say too much back though. But yeah, she was asking what she was doing there. And what did she say? I think Carla said something about she came there to see her grandkids, and she was like, if you want to see your grandkids, you come through me. But she said a whole bunch more than that. I was surprised I didn't write it down. She said a whole bunch. I was like, Willow. I said, Willow, oh my goodness. But yeah, she was just talking crazy to Carla and saying, you ain't got no reason to check up on my kids. Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, you ain't got no reason to be checking up on my kids. That's none of your concern. I got them. Me and Drew got them. No, that ain't what she said, but we got them, whatever. And she was like, if you want to know anything else about them or if you want to see them, you come through me. I said, Willow done got herself a little backbone. And she told Nina, she was like, I feel in my heart that Drew's telling the truth. But why you don't feel in your heart that he's been lying the other times? Hold on, I think it's about to get hot. Let me turn on this air. Hold on. Yeah, she told me to sit up here. I said she sit up here. She sit up here telling my son, I feel in my heart. I hope ain't no music playing. Hold on, y'all. I feel in my heart that he's telling the truth. I said, now, this time he telling the truth. But all the other times, how come your heart didn't tell you that he was lying? How come your heart didn't tell you? Nina's just over here. Look, I thought first did she ever say that she think Carly did it? I don't know. I think I skipped the part or something because they went from, she said something about, I think we both know who did it. But I don't know. Did she ever say she think Carly did it or what? I don't know, y'all. But Nina, everything, look, how you get caught already? How they get caught? Told y'all. They just like Christina. Bad criminals. Both of them done got caught already. Everybody done got caught. But let's see. Where else we at? Carly ended up leaving. That's when she went to Lulu's place or whatever. Nina tried to talk some sense to her, tell her, like, this is who Drew is or whatever. You can't trust him. I'm your mother. I know these things. I said, liar, man. So I said, Nina, you had every opportunity. Now, but I don't think Brad know. Brad only know about Portia, right? I don't think he know about Nina, do he? I don't know. I don't think he know about Nina. If I'm not mistaken, he don't know about Nina or whatever. But yeah, I was like, Nina, girl, this was a bad plan. You done got exposed just like Christina. Just like Christina already. Well, not yet, but Portia definitely for to get exposed. But yeah, I already said she was trying to talk some sense into her. I think Willow asked Nina if she an idiot for believing Drew. I said, no, not this time. Not this time, because he's telling the truth. Because he's telling the truth. With Drew and Mac, I think he was asking if he remembers seeing anybody, and that's when they showed the flashback of, what's her name, Tracy. Then the nurse lady, I still don't know her name. What's her name? The nurse lady. She was telling him, he was saying something about he trying to remember and stuff like that. She brought up GPS, and he ends up seeing it. He seen that he was at the hospital. He seen, and he had a flashback of Portia. He seen that he was talking to Tracy, and he seen the Savoy name or whatever. At first, I thought he was gonna think Curtis did it. I said, look, when they showed him doing all the flashback, I said, look, you got too many enemies. I said, anybody could have did it. And Ian was Brad. Josh, Emma, Gio. I think they was helping her search for. They was helping her search for the flash drive. She over here still got it in her hand. Jocelyn got it in her hand. So I said, "Girl, you bad at this too. You just like what was his name? What was his name? Her boyfriend that died. What was his name? Dex. You just like Dex." I said, everybody bad at their job at this point. She's sitting up there. It's right there. I was like, why she didn't? Maybe she didn't have time to put it in her pocket. So they started searching for it, and they see, no, she found it. She found it or whatever. And I said, once she see that the file is corrupt, she gonna know. She gonna think back to who had it, and she gonna know that Jocelyn did something about it. She did that. Who else we got? Danny, Rocco, he woke up, then he fell back out, and Danny was just trying to wake him up. His concern, he talking about some we gotta get him back before we get in trouble. I said, that's what you worried about. So they end up he got Geo's help, and they took him back to the what's it called, the boathouse or something like that. And that's when Cody came in and he was trying to help. And then he was like, something's wrong. He was like, something's off with Rocco's breathing or whatever. So they end up taking him to GH. That's when Cody called Dante and Lois was like, she gonna go with him. I was like, Lois, you people be playing in your face, told y'all. I was like, girl, tell him about his other son. And then when they showed him telling Gio that if something happened to my son, it's your fault or whatever, she's standing right there. She could stop all this mess before it even turned into a mess or whatever. But no, she on hush mode. And that's why she gonna get caught slipping. Hold on, y'all. And that's why I say I don't understand. These people have every opportunity to tell the truth. Then when the truth come out, they be like, oh, I'm sorry. If I could take this back, or if I could redo it. You had plenty of opportunity. You had plenty of opportunity. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the air on, y'all. Let me see. I already know iPhone. That's the thing about iPhone. They get hot. Where else we at? I think Josh was talking to Vaughn. He enrolled at the school too. He told Jocelyn something about he'll see her around campus, so I'm assuming he enrolled as well. He enrolled as well. They said something about Brendan's supposed to tell Josh and Vaughn something this week. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but that's what they said. Marco and Lucas, what was they talking about? I think they was talking about they ended up going up in the room or whatever, in the hospital room, office, whatever it's called. I don't even know. I tuned out after that, y'all. I just seen Brad staring at them through the window, and that's when he decided to go tell Drew what he's gonna tell Drew. Do y'all think that Brad is gonna tell that Portia did it, or do y'all think he's gonna say something else? He said he gonna tell everything, so he know about her doing the research. He know about the medicine stuff. I said, what else did he know? Because he said he gonna tell everything for the right price. Let's see. That leads me to Portia and Brad. That's the worst criminal ever. Worst freaking criminal ever. She told, what did she say? I think Brad came in there and he was saying, I think I want a promotion. So he trying to blackmail her again. Somebody want a promotion. I said, that's a Brad. You just you keep proving these folks right. You keep proving them right or whatever. Why you supposed to prove them wrong? Hold on, who is it? They mighty close. Why they be driving so close to the car? Oh my goodness. But I said you supposed to prove these folks wrong because Lucas wanted you. He wanted you. You could have just stuck it out. Well, Marco did come though. But yeah, he walked up in her office to my son. He wanted a promotion. And she was like, you can't go. I think she said something about blackmail or whatever. He was like, that was the old information. Now I got some new information on you. And she told him, if you even think about blackmailing me, I'm gonna tell everybody that you the one who did it. Who you think they gonna believe, you or the chief of staff? And I was like, girl, you going to jail 2 times over. I said, you gonna lose your man and you going to jail. So I said, girl, you the fake criminal. He the criminal. Should have known. But yeah, right after she said that, she was like, who you think they gonna believe or whatever? The chief of staff or you, a criminal or something, she said. So he ends up leaving. Did she threaten to fire him too? I don't know, but he ends up leaving, and that's when he seen Lucas with Marco. So he went into the room with Drew, and he was like, I have something you want, or I have some information, and he was like, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. He said, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, whatever. And he like, you don't even want to know the name of the person who did this to you? And he was like, tell me. He was like, for the right price, I will tell you. I said, these people never learn. These people never learn. I said, do y'all think that he's gonna tell that Portia did it, or what? I said, I would if you try to send me up. Of course, I'm finna tell everything. I'm gonna tell you try to set him. They gonna tell him that you gonna set him up. But yeah, I was like, Portia. That's sad. Who we got left? I think the last people is Lois and Dante. I think Dante he was talking about the beef that Brooklyn and Lulu has. He been talking about how he was in the middle of it, he don't want to anymore and stuff like that. He been trying to basically keep the peace or whatever. She just encouraging him to stay out of it. And that's when he ended up getting the call from Cody saying that Rocco, how about I say, was in jail. Rocco was in the hospital with her. And like I said on tomorrow's episode, he gonna be telling Gio if anything happens to my son, basically he gonna blame him. I said, that's your son too. And it ain't their son, it's your other son. It's your other son that convinced this boy to go to this doggone party. And now I was wondering why Danny didn't go. Maybe I think he's supposed to went to get something. I don't know if he said he was gonna get some medicine, he's gonna get something to help. But yeah, Carly's gonna be talking to him on tomorrow's episode, telling him he needs to take responsibility for his actions. I said, exactly. Gio over here, he look like he about to cry or something. He look like he about to cry or whatever. But yeah, Dante going off on him and stuff. But that's everything I think. Hold up. Yeah. I forgot to mention, Willow still thinks that Drew don't lie. She talking about some, Michael always kept secrets from me. But Drew don't lie to me. That's a girl, please. He lied to everybody. We just don't know what the lie is yet. We don't know what we know about the Nina lie. That's not nothing compared to what they're going to get ready to do with this storyline. Well, that's what I think anyways. I think it's something bigger. I think it's something bigger with him. See, well, I don't know. I think everybody got an agenda around here. What else? Let's see. Tracy want to know what her boyfriend, so we'll talk about that. Red want a promotion. Josh. And Gio. The doc said it may be alcohol poisoning. I already said that part. Oh, I know. I forgot. Remember, I think not yesterday. Friday, I think I told y'all, I was like, isn't Lulu the only one aside from Brooklyn grandmama and them that know? I forgot that Lulu told Carly. I forgot. She was the first person she told, ain't it? I sure forgot. This episode reminded me of that. I said, these people can't hold up. These people can't hold up. Yeah, they said, that's all. Let me know y'all thought that below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is her girl. Stay